Good afternoon and welcome to DieDragonDie presents the Legends campaign episode 60. Wow. I'm your DM and host, Marty, joined by Adam and Ahmed. Mark will join a little bit later. I'm going to unmute their mics so they can actually speak so that you can hear.
Greetings.
Wow. Marty, there's 3 Ahmeds.
Yeah, so what happens... Oh, wow.
This is the best show ever!
This is the best show ever. This is the
Triple
new version
Ahmed
of...
all the way.
Yeah.
Hi, Ahmed. Hi, Ahmed. Hey, Ahmed.
So I'm going to remove one.
How you doing? Great. Fine. Yourself? Wonderful. How the kids? Great.
I'll remove the other, and I will add...
No. Sorry.
You know...
Meh.
There, we'll get Adam in there.
Meh.
All right. And I can't actually see this screen until I actually switch to it in XSplit. So yeah, all the fail. It used to work, but the newest version doesn't like the naming convention for the Windows for VC and doesn't remember them. So, anyways, we'll do the same thing when Mark does arrive. He will arrive a little bit later. How was everyone's week? It's been a couple of weeks, actually, since we played last. I've done a campaign journal stream and DM prep for a in-person game that you guys can't play in because you're 2,000 miles away.
Flights are a little much.
Yeah, flight's a little bit much. But it's been 2 weeks since we've done Legends campaign. It's game 60. And how have you guys been over the last couple of weeks?
Cabin was good.
Oh, that's right.
Cabin was good.
You did some.
Oh yes.
Here's some flying.
Cabining.
There was rowboats, and there was throwing shit in the lake and having dogs bring it back to you. There was horseflies everywhere. I had horsefly bites all week, so I looked like I had the plague. I don't think most of them are mostly healed up now, but like big giant welts all over the body. It was.
Where were you going on vacation?
Mont
Hell,
Tremblant.
apparently.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Mont Tremblant, it wasn't that hot, and usually the heat kills a lot of the bugs, but it was a little bit damp, so there were mosquitoes and horseflies.
That's
Mosquitoes,
Quebec,
easy to deter.
For those that don't know, and for those that don't know, Quebec is in Canada.
Canada
You know,
is above
all
the
levels
US.
of geography knowledge.
The frozen land.
Yeah, it was quite good. Work
Nice.
was work. The gym was the gym.
Yeah, the work is work for me. Yeah, I wish I had more energy after work sometimes. I would like to stream more, but oh man, just sucks the energy right out of you. Level drain, temporary level drain after every day.
I notice it's very hard to find you now online, Marty.
Well, yeah, I'm now working 50 hours a week, so
Yeah, I know.
50 hours a week with very little breaks, and it's like eat your lunch at your desk quickly so you get on to the next brain thing. Sort of.
Cried to your cereal.
Sort of. But it pays the bills. So that's it for me. Aside from doing this in-person campaign, which is a lot of fun. I sort of miss the Dorito stain character sheets and rolling dice and that sort of thing. So it's a little bit different. And there are a bunch of newbies, so I get to subject them to a bunch of new D&D stuff, as well as kind of teach them how to roleplay in the way that we like to roleplay. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think every office has a connection to the negative energy planes, has stressed, at least from time to time. Yes, that it's the negative leveled employee is the productive employee because it sucks the fun out of you. No, it's not too bad, but it's just tiring. You guys all know what it is. Ahmed, how about you, man? How's readjusting after your trip to
Vacation?
Egypt? Yeah.
Well, glad to be back. Not sweating as soon as I opened the door is fantastic. But I had my brother and his family visit up for the week, and he's moving from Albuquerque to Cincinnati, which is driving distance now. So we can like meet in Niagara Falls or something. So we can actually, which is really good. His kids are older; they're 12 or whatever, and it's good to they're getting to the age where they want to hang out with the family, and it's
All I know about Cincinnati is that there was a TV show way back in the day.
WKRP.
WKRP in
Cincinnati.
Yeah, my
That's all
brother's
I
go
know.
from like he's been to Miami, Lansing, a
They've
bunch
got
of whole
radio
places.
there.
They had radio.
They
Don't know
had
what they got
radio.
now. But there was like Les Nessman who threw turkeys out of a helicopter
Right,
for Thanksgiving,
and then
he didn't realize turkeys don't fly.
The masking tape in your office to make sure you know where your zone is that other people can't enter. Oh, those are classics. And kind of dating ourselves a little bit.
Dating ourselves. That show was done before I was born. Dating my dad.
We'll just blame it on reruns. Okay, why don't we do a quick rundown of what happened last week, even though it has really no direct bearing on what's going to go on this week.
I'm going to kill a god. That's what's going to happen.
And I shoot him.
So, Azildin, Uker, Lowcrick, and Midwick had basically gone to Bartertown over the last couple of games and did some things in Bartertown.
And
Azildin, I said Azildin first.
Sorry. Okay.
Azildin met this great being of law that tracked him down, called a Wind Duke, that bestowed upon him this magical compass that led to this black wand. Azildin suspects that there may be other black wands out there, and there was some dealing with the shopkeep named Guithro. They got involved in, or at least started to sort of get a feel for what Bartertown was all about and what the politics of the place were. What was threatening Bartertown might be this massive gnoll army that is gathering in the plains nearby. Uker was threatened by Yinagu, the demon prince of gnolls and ghouls.
I'm gonna beat his ass as soon as I got my bros with me. I'm gonna beat his ass.
Right. So much so that they even sent a cadre of ghouls to go and attack them. And during this strange melee, Azildin showed a flash of perhaps evil influence and tried to kill the shopkeep. But he did seize the strange wand. You guys defeated the ghouls and made contact with a bunch of peace-loving monks of Teb, who come from a place where an ancient king by the name of Gezar, who was from Gazarija, who is Akunian, had originally come hundreds of years ago into different worlds and established the kingdom of Gazaria on a world called Targus.
I got to use a language that was on my character sheet from the first game for the first time.
Yes, you got to speak Akunian. He also got to speak Nezumi, as there were rat folk in Bartertown.
The rat folk scene was awesome.
Yeah, there was a little side scene as you were dealing with some rat folk, and Azildin was offering the free services of his god's healing god of...
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Ooh, I was expecting that.
Here's the hidden deal.
So they ended up going to Gazarija, and on Gazarija they learned that King Gezar had put his essence, so that he could rule better, his youthful essence, into two items. Those two items were the hammer of Gezar and the iron bow of Gezar. Mm. The iron bow, was lost in a war against gnolls.
Yeah.
And the hammer is claimed to be buried in basically the cairn of Gezar, which Gezar also disappeared, so his body was never interred anywhere, but his hammer was. They know that his hammer was guarded by a creature that was originally summoned to guard the hammer, called an Ouroboros, this massive seething swarm of snakes that, when it formed a large snake, was eating its own tail, and this one, for some reason, was able to shift into the ethereal and back.
Just a dick. If he was on this plane, just normally be dead now, but... So I'm just going to hide in the ethereal and bite your ass for like 70 damage.
So they tested their metal against it before leaving and deciding that they'll return with force and with spellcasters who could probably breach the ethereal plane.
And ghost touch weapons.
And oh shit.
Oh yeah. They'll gonna go make me some ghost touch.
Yes.
Pile of treasure. I'm gonna make me some ghost touch weapons.
Returning to the Temple of Teb, they also spoke to a helpful wizard who was part of the court of the Lama of Teb, And then they had pumped up this great llama as being this great man, great prophet, and it turned out to be just some kid.
He hasn't hit puberty yet.
Although the kid did seem to have great insight and prophetic knowledge about the party members, and they seemed to enjoy their very brief chat with him. Mm-hmm. They learned about how the Targosians became centaurs, of course, where the Hammer of Gazar is, and they suspect that maybe Yunagu's horde has the Iron Bow of Gazar.
Yeah.
We're gonna get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They decided then they would return to Dvergholm, but if we go back a few days, that when they returned to Dvergholm, that was Alder the 24th. If we go back, there's the other half of the party, Lemmy, Altagar, and Donovan, that wanted to go off and go check on things in Nalbren and perhaps on Yggdrasil. So we'll go back in time to... looks like the last time they did anything was the 20th. So I'll start at sort of a new entry for the 20th. The day before, Lemmy, for you, on the 19th, you successfully made contact with the captain of Azuri Lo and ordered them to return to Vosgard.
Right. Yes. So the 20th, okay.
And the 18th was the battle with Druskog Og. Did I? No, wait. That's not Druskog Og. The Karn Lenorm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
At the Cave of Dead Things, you met Hel. Mm-hmm. Hel appeared. Yeah.
Yeah.
She looked at us. We tried not to talk to her and ignore her.
Donovan talked to her.
And yeah, great, good job. And then as he accepts her contract.
I think it's a good idea. Well, we all got
okay,
a contract.
So you're starting off in Dvergholm.
Right.
The king has already left because Uker and Azildan and Midwig dragged him along.
Yeah,
right. It was really easy to convince him.
Yeah, his arm
hey,
twisted
king,
really
warrior
easily.
king, you haven't warriored for a while. Do you want to put
Did
some warrior in your king?
Did he leave the give me a sec. Where are you? The rod of the rod for his god's plane.
Yes, he lent you that item before he left. He knew where you guys were heading. You guys could talk about it beforehand. So on his character sheet, I actually made a note. Lent to Lemmy.
That it's okay.
Donovan needs. I know, I like starting out things with needs. He has contingency.
Yeah,
he's had it actually for a whole level now.
Yep.
Before he goes, he would like our ivory statuette.
Yeah, sure. Does it cost an amount?
Yeah, it's really expensive. It's 1,500. Which could he pre-take that out of his hoard share?
Oh, does he have not any? He doesn't have any cash.
He's got 300 gold pieces to his name and a brilliant smile.
Let's go to the party pages. I think there's a slush fund. There are 1,500 gold pieces worth of spell components. You could take it out of there if you wanted.
If you want money, just Lemmy will lend it to you. How much money do you need?
1,500.
Given that you had this spell for a level, it's not like you just leveled right now. Yeah, go ahead and subtract that from the spell components under equipment.
Okay, I'll do that.
And
all right, so don't worry about Ahmed. I'll switch it here.
And it would have taken 2 days to find, but I think over you had a lot of time. To do it.
I didn't want to.
The Dragon Horde hasn't. The Dragon Hordes from the Lenorms haven't finished being divvied yet.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
So his contingency right now is if I get grabbed, if I get CMB'd, freedom of movement goes up.
Grapple, the freedom of movement goes up. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a cool contingency. Does that cost anything per casting, or?
No, it's just I need a statue, and it needs to be cast on me. Once I find a way to make it not cast on me, like by making it mythic,
I can cast on you. You just want a freedom of movement?
No. I can make the freedom of movement.
Oh, okay, sure. I had 2 questions for you, Marty, regarding spells, and here is the first. Refuge. Refuge is when you have a 1500.
First off, can you cast these spells?
Yeah,
Okay.
Oh,
I can. And the question is, these are higher level spells, so I want to be able to do them. See if they'll work from here to there. So refuge is you have a 1500 gold piece item that once you break it, you teleport to a place in the same plane. Now, when I cast this, I've been looking through the spell, and I didn't see if it says I have to be in the same plane when I cast it. So can I craft? What a question is, can I craft this item in Vosgard so that it's usable in Nalbren?
That you don't know. You don't know how this spell works across worlds.
Okay. Knowledge. Do you want me to do knowledge for this, or just attempt and fail?
A knowledge planes. It's a 7th level spell.
Yeah. 24. Here's a D8 for your troubles. 30.
Yeah, consider any distance within the same plane or on the prime material on the same world.
On the same world.
Yep.
But I have to be on that world while casting it. Because I know that world, right? I know the world and I know the locations. You know what I mean? Like, I've been to the castle, I've been to his hut with that one-armed archer guy.
Yeah, you have to be in your abode when you cast this. Oh, wait a second.
You have to be in the spot.
Plane shift is a... Wow, this is starting to get into on anywhere within the same plane.
I'm framing it. There we go. I've been thinking how they cast it over there, and this is the only way that I can think of doing. Because that spell was cast over there in an item, but you can't cast that level spell in that world. So Lemmy's been trying.
You can't cast it right now using normal magic with one guy. If you have a circle of mages or whatever working together for a year through like a ritual, you might be able to get bigger spells to pop off.
You wouldn't give it to that guy.
Well, I'm not saying whether or not you give it.
But I
don't know which guy had it, so
I see what you're saying. It was a cleric in a church or a priest or something like that.
Yes, he broke a thing and disappeared, and you're assuming it's a refuge.
Right.
That's yeah.
Right, but you can't cast that here. And if you have a ton of these guys...
It does say the same plane, and the prime material is a single plane. This might allow you to set up an abode on one place, and then when you're on a different world, zap back to that abode. It's a 9th level wizard spell, but for some reason clerics get it at 7th.
Yeah, so you're saying
Because they don't get teleport. That's their version of teleport.
Yeah.
So I can create it here, and I can come back here using it?
In theory,
with 1,500 per casting, yeah.
It is a 7th circle spell effect that you're trying to make happen.
All right.
So, you already know the
theory.
limitations on Nalbren.
Right. Donovan.
Yes.
And I've been thinking about something here. When we
So
were in
have I.
Nalbren,
What is appropriate attire for Nalbren?
Nalbren, just wear whatever you're wearing. You're fine. They're affected by the Empire. You've got Galath's people that are being invaded and they're being helped by the Empire. Then you've got the Druids. I say just stay the way you are. They're not going to like you because you're an elf. And that's referring
Donovan
to Galath's
is
people.
using his bracers to. He's changing his outfit a little bit more human, a little bit less human, longer sleeves, shorter sleeves.
Okay.
It's a standard action for him to change what his clothes look like. He's just
Lemmy looks.
changing up the pattern.
That's
Lemmy
a
Thousand's
pretty neat
face.
trick, says Altagar.
Lemmy Thousands face himself into a human. So his pants turn into shorts. He rolls him up. His sleeves are now short sleeves.
Lemmy's a human. I made him a little bit larger.
Do you have armor on?
No. Wait. No. Hold on. I think I do actually.
Remember how much they liked me when I showed up there?
Yeah. Let me loosen up his armor. I've got a
Are they a bigoted people?
The Empire, as far as we can tell, are they don't like anything that's not human. So it's best to stay in a farm that they will not instantly attack. Or you could just be invisible. It's up to you.
Yeah, and them locals are kind of bigoted too.
Here's the important part.
It's unfortunate, really.
In that world, when you're there, you can't cast anything that's 5th level and higher.
This is a very important question. Could you
I've
please
tried.
clarify level?
Sorry,
I
fifth
talk about
circle.
circle of magic.
Circle. Anything 5th circle or higher, you won't be able to cast. I've tried. Now I know that we can enhance some of our spells with our abilities.
So 5th circles can or cannot be cast. This is a very crucial piece of information.
The 5th circle casts the higher, because we're able to plane shift out. The higher spells, the 6th and 7th, those ones aren't. Those ones are not able to cast. So I'm not sure if it will work from a staff. For instance, I've got the staff to control weather. I'm not sure if it'll let me control weather or not using it, because it's an item that the magic's already here. What happened was I did have I'll explain it to you. I did have a did we let the heal go off or on? The higher level spells were still running when we came from another world.
Yep.
So the magic is allowed to carry over.
Magic functions. It just
functions
simply
there.
Cannot be cast.
Correct. So if you've got,
try really, really hard.
so I think the best thing for us to do is to think of potions, if we need them. But the other thing that I've been thinking of doing is creating.
Potions are typically limited to the 3rd circle, unless you have
alchemists. Midwick left his cabinet, whatever that is. Maybe it can help us. I don't need the magics, but I'm thinking for you and for Altagar, it'll definitely be a boon. But what I was thinking of this is there's a spell that I know called Refuge. Sorry, that was Scottish for a second. It's called Refuge.
Refuge.
and I believe because I've got to go to another an outer plane and then go to Nalbren. I believe that the refuge would work across the planes. So for any reason, if we're separated, you might be able to use that token to bring you back here to Vosgard.
This is a very interesting little question. How many planar rods do we have?
I currently have 3. I've got 1 to Vosgard, 1 to Nalbren, and 1 to the outer plane. Sorry, I don't remember the name of it right now off the top of my head. And 1 to the outer plane of Law.
Well, considering that we're going to a place where I could normally plane shift, but I won't be able to, I'll just stay with you, and you won't leave me behind. They have a ring, don't they? Does Nalbren have a ring? Do we know of that?
Yes, they do, because the Empire is there, and that's what they use. They use the rings. So wait.
Well, then I can find my way off. Yes.
What circle is plane shift for you?
7th.
Oh, right.
Like all arcane casters.
Right. All right.
Lemmy, is your circlet on? He's speaking quietly.
Quiet.
He wears
You have a circlet that teaches you all about spells.
Quiet. Getting rolled. But I raise this to Altagar and to you. If you wish, I can create these items for you, and you can use them if for any reason we get separated. It'll take me 3 days.
3 days. Is there something that we should be doing in the meantime?
So, let me see.
Information that we require, gifts or boons that we should bring to these savages in,
No, not really.
in the trees that we need to win over, or
We don't
some
have to
sort
do
of-
this. We don't have to do this. We could just go. I mean, there's very little that really stands in our way, right? Being who we are. So this is
Yeah,
really a
there's nothing
precaution.
that stands in my way. It all
This is really a
lays down
precaution.
sleeping.
This is really a precaution. I thought about it, and letting you know it. But if you want, we can just leave right away.
Well, why don't you make one, and then we can see if they even work.
Fair enough. Well, I'll take the day to do this. Let's see. When you cast a spell, you create a blah 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 blah. Instant chance once it's cast, you can alter.
Does it take
It
a day
doesn't
to
say how
attune?
long. It doesn't say how long it takes to. Gee, once the item's in hand, okay, can make sure.
Standard action.
It's a standard action.
Yeah.
Oh fuck. There you go. There you go. Solved.
It's.
I do know. Actually, we need a 1,500 gold piece object.
And you need to define your abode.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
Usually for clerics, it's like holy ground or a church.
Yeah, I'll go to Dvergholm's shared holy ground.
Yep. This is shared between
The shared between the gods and all the faiths. Yeah, that's where I'm gonna make the abode.
This is shared between the dwarvish deities, but they don't
Yeah.
seem to have any problem with Yggdrasil, a big tree that brought them here.
So I'm gonna create this. Who should I
Do
create
they have
this
any
for?
plants in their little temple?
Actually, there are some depictions of Yggdrasil. There are some like tree motifs and that sort of thing because they did use Yggdrasil to get
To get here.
to get
Yeah.
to Asgard.
Yeah, I figured
Cool.
there'd be
Yep.
some there. So the question is, can anyone?
And they
Can
also
we do this?
steal like your secrets in this temple. Remember?
Yes, apparently you don't.
Remember
you don't
you-
talk funny. to
Yeah,
these
exactly. Remember you offered up one of Midwick's guns and one of the gods took it?
Both,
Right.
both guns.
people. Offered up Midwick's guns. Altagar offered up Midwick as a whole.
Yep.
I offer you to the dwarvish gods.
you do know as a high level cleric as well as a druid that the gods pay attention to what's going on in this holy ground.
Yeah. Before I decide who's gonna get the item, the risk is if anyone uses it and goes somewhere where they can't use high level magic, you're kind of stuck. So I'm thinking I'll create it for myself, and then I'll have to travel back and forth and see what happens.
How about
Yeah, okay.
you
I
try
trust you.
really
You know
hard
magic
not
good.
to use it, and then when there's a problem, we'll try it.
Yeah, I can't teleport anywhere. Well, I sorta can, but it's not very far. Says Altair.
Right. Well, you know what?
Oh, that's
Um,
it's good work.
Since
Hard to teleport.
you know what? Since Altagar is the one that can't really do anything
Should teleport.
with the magics, then I'll give it to you, Altagar. We need to get a 1,500 gold piece item. I'll pay for it. It's fine.
Yeah, okay. Just take it out of this party spell component pouch. If you don't
There's a
want to
weird
buy it
thingy.
yourself. Yep.
No, I think you have to be able to break it, so you might not want to have something that's like too hard.
Yeah, it'd be kind of wrong if I gotta get out
Yeah.
of here.
Ah, shit!
It's my adamantine cube. Oh man,
Son
the
of a-
worst idea.
The sphere. Oh, great.
Yeah, it's like sort of like an egg. You're just trying to break it.
If Euchre was making these, they'd be made out of like iron and.
Okay, so where is the loot? Spare equipment.
Okay, so how many of these doohickeys are you building?
There's a standard action each. So how many are you making? You can make
I can
many.
make as many as I want. We'll just create. We'll just create one for now to see if it'll actually work.
Okay.
Because
You
this is
wanna
specific.
put refuge token in brackets, your caster level, and where the abode is. So the temple in Dvergholm.
So this is going to Altagar.
Sure.
Okay, so.
And then what is the
Altagar-
token made out of? Like, what is it?
Wood. It'll be wood.
Just like a wooden disc of.
Yeah, like a twig, basically.
It's a fancily carved 1,500 gold piece wooden twig. That is effectively
it's
what
nice
a
of-
$50,000 twig.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Well, man, if I
right,
had
this
something
is-
that I could one-time teleport to anywhere, that'd be great.
Yeah, you tell me you
You're on
would
a
ninja
vacation,
vanish
you don't
out of.
wanna
There'd
be
be
at.
some meeting that you just ninja vanish out of.
If I had a spell, if I could teleport, I wouldn't be here right now playing game with you guys. I'd be at one of your houses playing game.
Yeah.
Or we'd be at the mansion because teleport, you'd be rich.
You'd be able to do stuff.
Yeah, so Refuge, cast level 14. It's a twig, and its word is Yig is awesome.
No, it's just an arcane command word.
Yeah.
You have to speak the word, or do you have to break it?
It's both.
Okay.
It's both. When you cast a spell, to make sure the subject speaks the command word at the same time that it breaks the item.
Oh, well,
So,
you
yeah,
created
that's
it,
the
so Yggdrasil is awesome is, I suppose, a valid command word.
Yggdrasil inspires awe.
Yggdrasil's great.
Awesome.
Yig's awesome. So Refuge, Twig, and the
Okay.
the what's it called? The dwelling. Dwelling is
The abode is
the holy ground.
Dwarvish Temple and Dvercom.
Doors to yeah.
Interesting.
And just send
Yes,
when Mark's online, just send him a text, Ahmed, that he's got this now.
Yep.
All right, so what now?
Well, is there anything else that we'd like to do with us? Higher level magics before we leave?
No,
We could just
Well, yeah.
got any.
So here's the quick thing. I want to pick up an item from that plane that we're going to. It's fairly important for me. So I'm doing my mythic sending because why roll?
What do you mean that plane?
We're going to the outer planes first, and then we're going to go to the inner planes again.
You're talking
We're
about
going to the-
Arcadia, where Mount Clangadin
Arcadia.
is.
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember the name of the angel that you gave the
Axia.
Paxia? Thank you. Because I didn't.
I
I have it written down somewhere. That's my
I
memory.
wrote it down. Yeah. The message is simple. Paxia, please bring the acorn I gave you for me to pick up. We will meet where I gave you the acorn.
Okay. She responds,
Okay.
I will be waiting amongst the fields.
Right.
Steal
All right.
Steel yourself. Heaven is not the same since last you came.
Huh. All right. I got an interesting response from the angel. She said that the heaven is not the same since we were last there. So let's just prepare for the worst. Right? I'm going to be traveling invisible.
We're
Cause
gonna go
I'm-
beat up angels?
No, I'm not
Altagar
sure what's
with this
there.
look.
No, hold on.
I
She
don't
said
know if I
beat the
particularly
fields.
agree with the plan involving.
We're not beating up angels. I'm just saying,
All right. Donovan casts a delay poison on himself and shrugs.
Okay.
all right. So
It's the new
Lemmy's
spelling.
gonna
You got a second
give.
circle spell. So
Altagar looks at you. He probably doesn't understand what you're doing. Hey, you got one of
Okay.
those for me?
Just give it a second.
does
here.
Altagar, is he affected by poison or is he
I don't know.
here?
You
no,
all
no.
get endure elements. Yeah. Let's do death wards.
Don't worry, Altagar. This is for one of those things that you've conquered. It's poisons and toxins. You told me
Yeah.
previously that you've mind over body, that sort of thing.
Yeah, okay, I don't need one of those.
Here's air bubble for me and you. He doesn't need to breathe.
Altagar with his 0 ranks in spellcraft just didn't want to be left out. Those are some sick stats, Mark. Holy crap.
Oh,
Wind walk. There's a wind walk for everyone.
yeah.
And there is another spell that I'm trying to remember. So that bubble. Not the...
He's immune to inhaled poisons.
No, that's
Life
a different
bubble.
power. It's Monk that's giving him immunity to all
Diamond
poison.
body. Okay, there we go. Yeah.
So we're getting life bubble as well. And that's going to last for 28 hours. Divided by 3, 7,
okay.
8. 9 hours. 9 hours. There we go. Did you get that list?
Should you really be going to, like, heaven with, pretending not to be who you are?
I would assume
Oh, that's a very
not.
good. That's a very good point. Turns back into Lemmy.
Uh,
Ties his armor.
Donovan changes his clothes into like sort of like white, pristine sort of robes. Just,
Okay.
This is what.
Yeah.
All right.
Altagar adjusts a strap for a weapon or something.
Yeah. All right.
Fancy.
Mythic plane shift. Are you guys ready to go?
Mythic plane shift. What? What's
Yes.
going on? So you're...
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the same day you cast Refuge.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. What does Mythic plane shift do that normal plane shift doesn't?
It's like a teleport in a plane shift.
Yeah.
It's a plane shift that puts you where you want to go.
Exactly where I want to go.
So you don't spend your time derping around the wilderness.
Is it like a teleport or?
So if you've been in a destination plane and are familiar with the location you're
teleport.
there, you can choose that location and arrive on target at that location. Now, I don't know if there's still a percentage.
No, it would describe it. If it says as per teleport. Augmented spells.
Yeah.
Search.
So I don't want to roll dice. I just want to go.
You don't want to.
Well, you're in heaven. How bad could it be? Oh, I'm in another field full of joyous.
No, I don't want to go to
Waffle.
another. I don't want to go to another plane.
Oh
Is what
no,
I'm saying.
that shouldn't be. Well, plane shift. Yeah, no,
That's
and
what I don't
arrive
know.
on target. Okay, it doesn't say like.
yeah, it's on
teleport,
target, and you have to be familiar with the location. So.
You've been there 3 times. I'm fine with that.
Yep.
Okay,
You're
so
going to that.
used-
You're going to that sort of farmer's field in the foothills of Mount
Yeah.
Clangadin.
Yeah, yeah.
If you add 2 mythic points to it, you also get planar adaptation.
I don't think I have that because that's oh, it's not.
You could bump it up even further if you want to adapt.
Yeah.
to
Okay. Cool. I
the
thought it was a
holy
higher
plane.
one. Awesome. Thank you. I didn't. Thank
Okay.
you.
So,
Okay,
so
perfect.
you cast your spell, and using the rod sends you to the heavenly plane of Arborea.
Is this 100% rod?
It's a 99.
Give me your
This
percentile.
is the dice that still has to be rolled.
Yeah, that's the question. So what? High is good.
No, low is good. You want it 99 or below.
Whew.
Okay, so the rod does take you to exactly where you want to, and you've spent a little bit of power to zoom you in instead of getting some random scatter around that point. You arrive in heaven, but it takes you a moment to sort of recognize exactly where you are. The fields that you're standing in looks like they've been harvested and are lying fallow. So you've got fallow fields for miles and miles and miles as far as you can see. The skies are overcast with a bit of dark, and there is no singing, no one to be seen, and just this slow tolling bell in the distance. You get a really bad feeling from all this. Like there's a sense of urgency in the air.
Okay.
I expected Clangadin. I expected this to be different.
Okay, you can see flying towards you is this great, wonderfully winged, green-skinned woman.
Is she in armor? Like different, like full plate armor. Ready
She
to...
is in more battle regalia than you had seen her before. And she actually has her sword out, but she's flying with the sword kind of pointed downwards, only in one hand.
Okay.
And you notice that she's got a bag in the other hand.
Okay.
Paxia lands on a slight hill overlooking some of the farmstead, kind of facing all of you.
Hello.
Altagar actually bows to her.
Yeah. Lemmy does the same. She's still an angel, so. Paxia, what ails us? What's happening?
You make reference to the tolling bells and to the grim skies.
Yes.
Some believe that it is the war to end all wars.
Has it started?
I have not blown the horn.
It is a call to arms. Yes, there are skirmishes this way and that. And with these skirmishes, and with this collapse, this contraction, many things thought quiescent have risen, which have called many great beings to the edges of the multiverse, to many prime worlds. People cry out. Clangadin's halls have emptied onto the mustering field. Every celestial and servant, every soul that has not ascended, every god and godling, every petitioner and in between. It is happening in other places as well, Lemio.
I'm aware.
I have kept this safe for you.
I thank you so much.
She hands the bag back to you.
Is there anything that we can do to help you now? You look like you're ready for battle.
I have seen many conflicts, but this
I'm aware.
one... She just stops and she kind of looks like stares off. Her words trail.
Can you get in touch with me, Paxia?
Yes, you know me and I know you.
Can you do a sending to me?
If you need my assistance in
No,
the
I'm
days
thinking
to come, I can teach you my name. She's making reference, Donovan, to her
True name.
name.
True name.
Yeah. If that...
Donovan's going to say very quietly, "It's a great honor to know an angel's true name."
If you'd honor me with your name,
You know what to do with
blabbering,
it.
blah, 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 blah.
You know such spells.
Yes.
Until then, I will serve my gods and my allegiances however I can. And she bends down and she whispers her name. It's Paxia with a bunch of like weird.
Alphanumeric.
No,
What are the
no,
10,
no,
10,
there's a
11?
bunch of strange syllables that follow it. Basically, she gave you the name that you now need to use a planar ally spell.
Yep.
Or worse things.
Alternately, planar binding.
Yeah, exactly. Bind you to my will, angel. Lemio,
This
angel
can't
binder.
go wrong. This can't go wrong at all.
Yeah, I know something you don't know. I know an angel's true name.
thinking-
Watch the streets.
She then turns to Altagar and to Donovan, and she's kind of scrutinizing the two of you.
Donovan kind of tries to
They are
manipulate his position to sort of match what he thinks the angel expects.
Yep.
our team, our group has changed, and these are the new allies now. This is Altagar, and this is Donovan.
Greetings.
Hello.
My friends,
she's green.
Axia.
Yes. She's a planar. Planetar?
Planetar, yeah.
Planetar, yeah.
It's a planetar.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
It's
Very
a
powerful
very
angel.
good being.
I'm standing
Honored
right
to
here,
you.
she says.
She's a. Well, no, he was saying it in an honorable way. Like he wasn't saying it in a. I have diplomacy if you want me to.
No, that's fine. You're talking about her right in front of her.
Right in front of her, exactly. It's... apologies, we did not mean to offend. I am Donovan Dullahan, minstrel, sojourner.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
called the
Altagar.
God Singer.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your
No, it's
titles.
absolutely fine.
What happened here? You should not linger long. Those tolling bells will compulse you eventually to go to the mustering grounds.
Oh, lawful heaven, you shall do. Ding, ding, ding. Ding, ding, ding.
Right.
There's compulsions everywhere. Okay.
Is there any? Is there anyone that you need that we can perhaps heal or regenerate or anything? Maybe the crops. Can I help them grow? Anything that?
The crops will be planted again when the war is done. All are needed on the mustering grounds.
Where does Heimdall and Clangeddon do?
Where are their homes, is what you're asking?
in respect to one another. Like I believe they have the same alignment, but
I believe Heimdall's in Asgard.
And
so a different plane.
it's a different plane.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm assuming they're getting ready for like the same battle, or a version of the battle that's on a different place. It's the same thing.
Yeah, they're speaking of the Great Contraction and them gathering up all of Heaven's host. They didn't actually just say Clangeddon.
Right.
So are all the pantheons participating in Ragnarok?
A quaint term, she says.
Lemmy elbows you.
Ow.
Lemmy hops over, and then he elbows you.
Ragnarok will be one great and important set of battles. But it is only one facet. Yes. You could call it this, but others may not refer to it as Ragnarok.
What would they refer to us?
It is a great upheaval. My superiors have told us that the multiverse is collapsing.
Not. I've heard the same thing, but in different words.
Every culture has a way to say doomsday.
I don't believe that of the end of life. I don't believe it's possible. There's always a way. It's what life is.
I am very old. Older than some civilizations, but I do not remember a time when all of heaven has been mustered. When all the heavens and hells gather their forces.
Knowledge, history, or local Vosgard? When was their last Ragnarok? Because Ragnarok is a cycle thing.
Yep.
34.
They spoke of the first kingdom of man that discovered iron. They were called the
Ironites.
Varnlanders. They went. They underwent sort of a like a very turbulent fall. But the last time that the gods evolved on this might have been the death of Balder. Like the last time there was a big shakeup amongst the, and then the last time this whole thing happened, you're now into the theoretical.
Were you alive for the death of Balder?
No.
Since mode of DC lots, that's a relieving thing to hear.
Paxia, do you know why Vosgard is so important?
She seems like
everything seems to converge there. Everything. And I don't know why. If I did, perhaps it would help us know in knowing what to do, what to protect, or what to destroy, or I don't know.
like a great sinkhole. A great focus is on Vosgard. Favored amongst several pantheons, this world is. And such conflicts must happen at least somewhere.
Right.
Is this coming conflict, by its very nature, that of good versus evil, or is this a conflict of law versus chaos? Existence versus oblivion?
Good shall prevail in this coming conflict, she says.
That's right. That's what we're fighting for.
She didn't like your question.
And somebody was like, we better gang up with the devils.
Dab, smack. Face bombs coming next. I think we will take your advice. Thank you for caring for my treasure, Paxia. I wish you luck, and I hope to see you again.
Give me 1 second.
If you can, and if you need, my
really
services. If you can, and if you need, my services are available to you. Call me or find me somehow, and I will aid.
She nods.
No need to ask.
She accepts your offer. Donovan,
Do you know
give me
if
a knowledge planes if you care about planetars. I think Lemmy's already rolled on this, but
I care
you've
about
leveled
planetars.
since. Yeah.
And he failed. Ta-da.
Oh, I rolled 2, 29. Ooh.
Planetars also are very powerful priests.
Oh, sweet.
They are
excellent.
so good that they have not only like a plethora of spell-like abilities, but they also like prepare spells like a goodly cleric.
Awesome.
Planetars are also non-lawful. They are epitome of good.
Yeah.
They serve probably good, lawful, and chaotic masters.
I'm a neutral good guy who likes good stuff.
Yep.
Are the Wind Dukes involved?
She like looks at you. There's a surprised look over her face, and then she manages to kind of
Sense motive.
Yep.
I got a big one.
Go
I got
ahead,
a
give me a sense
big
motive.
bouncy sense motive score.
What's that? For this?
47.
Does Donovan know that the Winddukes are involved?
Yeah, he was told about Azzy as a kid. He
Oh,
learned about
right.
Azzy as a baby, and the Wind Dukes are the whole thing with that.
Now I understand your questions. Whether or not there are old conflicts, good must prevail. Or all of this, and many other places where the good rest, will be in jeopardy. You do not want to live in a multiverse that is simply law and chaos, is what she says.
Very much agreed.
But there was a time when it was so.
Well, I thank the gods that it's no longer that way.
If there is a contraction, good must not be the sacrifice.
Lemmy's nodding. Yes, big powerful ancient cleric.
The Wind Dukes, they have enemies as well that sit on the opposite side of the board. Wherever the Wind Dukes are, the Queen of Chaos and her servants will inevitably come.
Are you good?
Oh, it was me typing. That was me. That was
okay.
a note being made. That's a
Okay.
knowledge Queen of Chaos.
Sure.
And her servants.
Sure. Queen of Chaos.
Lemmy's
Could be,
looking like
knowledge
Altagar now.
Planes,
Oh.
maybe? Yeah.
Okay, I'll use my second once per day. Take 20, 47. And I'll throw a mythic point at it
Sure. Whoops.
to see if I can get over
She's this, that, and this. Wears size sock 14 and has blue underwear.
50.
Alright. When the multiverse was young, there were primordial beings, great, horrible monstrosities that came from the chaos. The Wind Dukes, you start to piece together, were the first agents of, well, law, but also kind of to give the universe shape and form.
Order.
Yeah.
Like, they made molecules bond.
Stuff like that. The Queen of Chaos is one of these primordial, titanic forces of chaos that survived and had influence after creation. She probably wants to undo it all. And maybe the title is probably a very mortal, very simple way of describing the thing that she is.
She'd be an Oogie Boogie cloud monster.
The Otra, for some reason the word Otra comes to mind, which means outside. The things on outside creation. That that horribly corrupt the laws of nature when they push their way into creation. And with your 50 knowledge planes, the outer planes are wrapped. It's kind of like the stuff on the other side of the abyss, and it's infinite planes, like infinite levels. Eventually you start to get so far into the abyss that it's on the outside. The abyss is kind of like the dermal layer of the planes.
It's the skin.
To everything else.
Yeah.
She is saying these words about the Queen of Chaos and the Wind Dukes like this is very concerning. These are heavy topics that hey Slants. Nice badge, Slants. Nice badge.
Slants. What's happening?
She is saying these things in a heavy way. Of course, she's perched upon this hill where heaven's fields are laying fallow, and all like the husks of from the corn are kind of lying and crunching beneath your feet. There's a dark, heavy cloud in the sky. You can see the conical mountain that is Mount Clangadin, where there is not singing coming from it. The last time you were here, they were singing for the death of the god Tyr. And there's this tolling bell that you realize that Altagar has kind of got his attention. Altagar has actually wandered over about 10 steps towards the tolling bell.
We're gonna have to leave. We're gonna have to leave fairly soon.
as the tolling
Can't carry
bell
this big
is calling all of all of heaven's petitioners, souls, angels, godlings to the mustering
Donovan
grounds.
will counter song.
Yeah. Okay. Give me a perform check as you begin to sing. Is it just sing a little tune?
I'm singing something of inspiration and freedom because
Okay.
I'm in the lawful place.